What's one innovation that you wish you were responsible for?
Oh, wow. Not to get too grandiose, but running water.
I mean,
pants.
that's a good one.
Whoever invented pants.
How do you go from running water to pants?
Franklin J. Pants nailed it. Nailed it. What an invention.
Ryan Reynolds is known just as much for his blockbuster films as his business ventures. Fast Company sat down with Ryan to discuss what innovation means to him. Your career as the entrepreneur that we know and love you as today really started with Deadpool, more specifically working within the constraints to make Deadpool happen. I'd love to get a sense of your process of working within constraints.
When we did finally get it greenlit, the budget was, minuscule for a comic book movie. So all the greatest lessons I ever learned in life came from this one experience. And it was just that. It was that necessity is the mother of invention. The more constraints you place on a creative process, the more asymmetrical your thinking is, the more you're kind of finding inspiration and whimsy in the most unexpected of places. And everything that those constraints did to forge that film inevitably led to some kind of creative breakthrough. And it just stuck with me forever after that. It was just that the enemy of all creativity is too much time and too much money. So we didn't have any time, we didn't have any money, we just had to go, go, go.
Went on to become the co-owner of Aviation American Gin, which was later acquired by Diageo. You took over Mint Mobile in 2019, which was acquired by T-Mobile. Yeah. You and your friend and business partner, Rob McElhenney, bought Wrexham Football Club in 2020. You have investments in a French Formula One team. You have the investments in an apparel company. And so how do you go about understanding and growing such a wide range of companies through your particular lens?
If your brand doesn't really say anything or have any kind of identity, and I'm not talking about a personal brand, I'm talking about a company, it is susceptible to all kinds of, crazy things that can happen in this day and age. So a lot of these different kinds of ventures that I'm involved in really stem from each one had a story to tell. And sometimes you don't even know what the story is, but you know it's there.
Yeah.
I mean, sports is a great example. Wrexham is a great example. If you think about any major sport in America, you fall in love with a team or you fall in love with a storyline a lot of times because we're giving context. This player came from this or overcame that to be here, and suddenly you're invested.
And I know I rattled off a bunch of the businesses that you came in on and they were eventually acquired, and Maximum Effort is no different because now, it's under the umbrella of Mountain. And
right.
So I'm curious, once a company reaches a point where it is ready for an acquisition, how do you make that choice? Why, in this specific case, why was Mountain a good choice to be?
Mountain is it was such an easy choice because just culturally they were such an extension of how we sort of operated and felt. I mean, Mountain sort of is in the most kind of pedantic layman terms is democratized ad buying. 90% of the brands that advertise on Mountain have never ever had a TV ad before. So to me, I love that. I love the democratization of that world, and again, it's doing so much with so much less.
In a previous interview, you've said that the North Star of Maximum Effort is to, quote, bring people together in unexpected ways through joy. Yeah. And that's such a noble cause.
Yeah.
So why do you feel like you're uniquely positioned to do that?
I don't feel like I'm uniquely positioned to do that, but I love joy. I mean, I feel like the areas in which I've had the most success through storytelling have always been kind of anchored in joy, as opposed to cynicism. Because cynicism can be funny, but I don't feel like it has legs. It kind of doesn't really win the day. And the last 10 years haven't really been easy for anyone. The last 1,000 years haven't been great.
Say, let's just be honest.
Yeah, what are
the
the salad days, and what does that mean? So I just if you kind of center your sights on joy, I find through storytelling, for some reason it lands a little bit better for not just audiences, but I think I'm better when I'm kind of leaning into that stuff. And I also have a responsibility to the studio that is paying for the movie that I'm lucky enough to make. I have a responsibility to return the investment that they've made in me.
Right. And that's, thinking that's your North Star is, toward joy for the work that you put out, but what's your North Star as a leader? Who are you as, Ryan Reynolds, the owner of all these businesses?
I believe that it's important to be authentic, which is just such an eye roll thing to say, but I think it is important to be. The reason I'm bringing that up is because I'm super comfortable saying I don't know. And I've worked with people who are not that comfortable, that people might construe that as a sign of weakness or naivete or vulnerability, and I trust people that say I don't know. You know, if I say I don't know, but I'm eager to learn, I want to work with that person more than the person who's like, yeah, I got this, you know. Now, I don't want somebody to say I don't know and I'm eager to learn if they're, you know, piloting the 747 I'm on. I'll work tirelessly to make the best possible product, but at the same time, I'm here to learn too. Like, I'm kind of on the journey as well, and I love that I get to learn.
How do you stay innovative? How do you push yourself to continue doing new things in new ways over the long haul?
I mean, for starters, it's just listening, not resisting, but allowing boredom. Man, boredom is good. Like, boredom will, like, you know, we don't let ourselves be bored anymore.
Oh, yeah. I agree.
And I'm guilty of that too. Like, I will, you know, go onto TikTok, I'll look up and I'll be like, whoa, my kids have graduated college. That's great, wonderful. I just do a quick little doom scroll, and you know, everybody's left the house, and so I'm just as guilty of it as the next person.
At this point in your career, when you think about all that you're doing and all that you continue to do and will do in the future, how would you define innovation?
I think of innovation as like more of like a character trait almost. If you can do anything that kind of makes life just a tiny bit better or easier for other folks, then that's pretty innovative, I find. If you're doing something that shrinks the pool of joy, happiness, and contentment and satisfaction with life, then it's probably not very innovative, even though it might be worth $50 billion. Ultimately, it's gonna fuck us all in the end, so let's not do that. So yeah, I think of it a little bit like that.